His fingers stopped just above the ring. He could have taken it. Nothing was in the way. The moment waited. And then it didn't. His fingers paused just above the small ring. Not touching it. Not yet. The ring lies flat on the surface in front of him. Plain. Quiet. A thin circle that reflects a narrow line of light. He watches it without leaning closer. His hand moves once, then stops again. The room holds still around him. His thumb presses lightly against the edge of the table. Though it feels cool. His fingers curl and uncurl slowly. The ring does not move. He reaches forward. One fingertip touches the metal. Only for a moment. The ring slides less than an inch when his finger nudges it. A soft sound follows. Metal against wood. He withdraws his hand. For while he only looks, the circle is small enough to hide beneath his palm. Small enough to disappear into a pocket. Small enough to carry without weight. Yet he leaves it where it is. His hand returns. This time he lifts the ring between two fingers. The metal feels smooth. Colder than he expected. He turns it once. Light moves across the surface in a thin band. His fingers stop turning. He holds the ring at eye level for a moment longer, then lowers it again. The ring rests on his palm now. His hand stays open. No tension. No grip. Just the ring sitting quietly against his skin. His breathing remains steady. Nothing in the room changes. After a while, his fingers begin to close. Slowly. Not tight enough to hide the ring completely. Just enough to feel its shape pressing against his hand. He rolls it once between his thumb and finger. The motion is careful, measured. Then the movement stops. His hand opens again. The ring is still there. Unchanged. He sets it back down. Almost exactly where it was before. His fingers linger beside it. Close. But not touching. For a moment, it seems like his hand might move again. But it doesn't. The ring remains where he placed it. A small circle resting near the edge of the surface. His hand stays nearby. Not touching. Just close enough that the warmth of his skin lingers above the metal. He sits without shifting his weight. Time passes quietly. His fingers move once, sliding slowly across the table. They stop a short distance from the ring. He watches it again. The light in the room has shifted slightly. The thin reflection along the ring is softer now. Less sharp. His hand moves forward. This time he places one finger inside the circle. Only the tip. The metal rests lightly against his skin. He does not lift it, He simply leaves his finger there. A moment stretches. Then he turns his hand gently. The ring rolls along his fingertip and falls flat again with a faint sound. He withdraws his hand. Silence returns to the surface between them. His thumb traces the grain of the wood slowly. Back and forth. Back and forth. The movement repeats several times. The ring stays still. After a while, he reaches for it again. He lifts it carefully. The circle hangs loosely between his thumb and index finger. He raises it slightly. Not high. Just enough that it catches the light once more. He studies the inside of the band. Smooth. Unmarked. His fingers rotated. Half a turn. Then another. The motion slows. Eventually it stops. His hand lowers. He places the ring on the table again. Not in the same place this time. A little farther away. The distance is small, but noticeable. His hand remains where it finished the movement. He does not pull it back immediately. Instead, he rests his palm flat against the surface. The ring sits several inches away now. Still visible. Still within reach. But no longer close to his fingers. For a while, he simply watches the quiet space between his hand and the ring. Nothing crosses that space. Nothing interrupts it. The distance remains. If this quiet moment stayed with you, consider subscribing for more slow stories like this. Sometimes the smallest moments are the ones we carry the longest. The ring rests farther from him now. Not by much. Still within reach. Still inside the quiet space of the table. He notices the distance every time his eyes return to it. His hand remains flat against the surface. The warmth from his palm fades slowly into the wood. For a while he does not move. His fingers twitch once, then settle again. The ring catches a faint line of light as the room grows slightly dimmer. A narrow reflection curves along its edge. He watches the light move. Nothing else changes. After some time, he lifts his hand. Not toward the ring, just away from the table. His fingers curl loosely, as if remembering the shape they held earlier. Then his hand lowers again, but this time it stops halfway between himself and the ring. Suspended, his thumb rubs slowly against the side of his index finger. Once, then again. The motion repeats without hurry. His eyes remain fixed on the small circle. It looks smaller now from where his hand has paused. Or perhaps the distance only feels larger. He leans forward slightly. Not enough to reach it. Just enough that the ring becomes clearer again. The smooth surface. The thin curve. The quiet line of light. His hand shifts an inch closer, then stops. The space between his fingers and the ring is narrow now. a small stretch of empty table. Nothing blocking it. Nothing preventing the movement. His fingers open slightly, as if preparing to take the ring again. They remain there, uncertain. A long moment passes. His breathing stays slow. Even. The ring does not move. The light across it softens further. His hand moves forward once more. Only a fraction. Close enough now that he could feel the cool metal if he continued. But he doesn't. The movement ends there. His fingers hover above the ring. Not touching. Not closing. Just waiting in the quiet air above it. For a moment, it seems as though the distance will disappear. But the hand remains still, and the ring remains exactly where it is. His fingers remain above the ring for a long moment, close enough to feel the coolness if he lowered them. But they do not move. The small circle rests quietly on the surface beneath his hand. The light in the room has softened even more now. The thin reflection along the ring fades until it is almost gone. His hand begins to lower, slowly, not toward the ring, just back toward the table. His fingers settle beside it. A small space remains between his skin and the metal. The distance is narrow, but clear. He leaves it there, for while he only looks, the ring has not shifted since he placed it down earlier. It sits in the same quiet position, flat, still. His thumb presses gently into the surface of the table again. The same slow pressure as before. His fingers slide once along the wood, then stop. They do not reach the ring. His hand turns slightly, palm resting more fully now. The warmth of his skin spreads across the surface again. The ring stays outside that warmth. He glances at it one more time. Not with urgency. Not with hesitation. Just a brief, steady look. Then his gaze drifts away. His shoulders shift almost imperceptibly as he leans back a little. The space between him and the ring becomes wider. His hands move away from the table. They rest quietly in his lap. The surface in front of him is empty now, except for the ring. The room remains still. Nothing changes around it. The small circle lies exactly where it was left. Unclaimed. Unmoved. The light continues to dim slowly across the table. After a while, even the faint reflection disappears. The ring becomes only a quiet shape resting in the soft shadow. He does not reach for it again, and the moment passes without being held. Not every memory is clear, but some never leave. They remain quietly, waiting for an ordinary moment to return. if this moment reminded you of something in your own life. You can share in the comments. Someone else may have felt the same moment too.